The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Las Casas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more. Speaking of farm supplies, I'm happier than a doggone hog in the slop this morning because I'm following John Dinkins. He called me illustrious. I don't know if I fit that bill or not, but speaking of illustrious, I'm joined now by Vergne head football coach Mike Woodward. Coach Woodward, how are you this morning?
I'm all right, Danny. How are you?
Oh, well, I'm quite well, Coach. Let's talk about Vergne football this morning. When we look at the schedule here, the first 3 football games all decided by one score. You're on the short end of it, but you have to find some encouragement in that because, you're right there, right, Coach?
Correct. Yeah, we were first 2 weeks in particular very encouraged because we could easily see not only were they one-score games, but they were one-score throughout, and we saw a couple major mistakes or big plays that we just missed out on that were game changers. So with the youth that we had and the inexperience, we were very excited after those first 2 weeks, even though we were 0-2 and thought we were on the right track and we're doing things well. Then, Wilson Central was a one-score game, but it wasn't as close as those other 2 were. It took us scoring late to get it to that one score. So, we felt like we took a little bit of a step back against Central. And then, Page, to be honest, is just a whole another different animal. They're number one for a reason. They've gone to the state championship game 3 years in a row. They've got 3 D1 dudes out there, and their defense hasn't given up a point all season long. So that was, just a completely different animal from what we had seen the first 3 weeks.
Coach, when you talk about that incredible statistic of being unscored upon, that's like old school stuff because, I'm kind of a sports history buff, and I remember, like way back, like when in Tennessee's glory days and things like that, teams would go for a season of being unscored upon. But in today's society, that's just about unheard of, isn't it? Yeah,
it is. The game has been tilted so much to the offensive side of the ball. It's rare to see, a shutout, let alone 4 straight shutouts. And I'm with you as far as old school. I'm a Steelers fan, so I can talk to you about, defense all day long. But, they are they're just so good, and what really makes them good is that it's nothing tricky. What they're going to line up in, and they lined up exactly how we thought they would to any formation we gave them. It's just that that they've got 11 guys that fly around, and the Wisconsin and Louisville and Wake Forest commits. Those 3 guys get a lot of the attention, and it's well deserved, but all 11 of those guys fly to the football, are good physical guys. They beat blocks. They don't miss tackles. That they're just really, really good on that side of the ball.
When we talk about, you mentioned Steelers. Now, I'm not a Steelers fan, but those Steel Curtain days, of course, I'm an old guy. I'm older than you are, Coach, I'm sure. But the old Steel Curtain days, man, that was like glory football, wasn't it? When you think about what that group of football players did defensively, just dominant.
Oh yeah, they were dominant. There's, I think, 7 Hall of Famers off that group, so. Yeah, they were, and even more recently, the 05 group was really like that too. So, I'm not comparing Page to them, but when you talk, like I said, you talk about dominance and and just how hard it is to try to find a weak point to attack. That's what you're talking about with them. And now we were able to do some things and have a little success here or there and move the ball a little bit. But as far as anything, consistently, we just weren't able to get that going.
Does playing a team like that help you? Because get into region play this coming week, which we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a moment. But do you think does that help you guys? Obviously, I'm a guy that believes the better teams you play, the better it makes you.
I mean, I've got to believe it. I mean, that's one reason we schedule them. I want our guys to see what elite football is. I mean, and they're elite. And, now we've gone against, what we told them all week. And I mean, no disrespect to anybody else, but, very well may be the best defense we see all year long. So, now we've seen it. We know how important it is on our end to take all the correct steps to fight your tail off and not think just because you're engaged that dude's just going to sit there and allow himself to be blocked. But you've got to continue to move your feet. You got to continue to fight your tail off until you hear the whistle. Just all those things, and hopefully that gets our minds a little more right. Not that we should need any help this week with who we've got, but hopefully get our minds a little more right coming into Monday.
Running the football, I know that I applaud you for your decision and your offensive changes and your offensive game plan. Also, how has that worked out for you? You think as far as the kids embracing the type of offense that you're trying to run right now?
Again, early on, I would say it was great. I mean, and we saw the big improvement from week 1 to week 2. Right now, to be honest, I mean, there's some frustration, so we need to look at the film and. We will tweak things, and there are a couple things that we've been trying to do the last couple of weeks that, to be honest, haven't been successful that, I'm probably going to cut out because we're spending too much time trying to work on things that aren't working. So we need to spend more time on the things that are and then make some additions from there.
Well, Coach, I think that's really the key to any football team is being able to adapt. And like you said, you're figuring out what you can and can't do.
Yeah, I mean it's everything always looks good on the board. I don't care what scheme you're running, what side of the ball it is. You can give anybody a dry erase marker and get up on the board and say, hey, this is going to work, this is going to work, this is going to work. But then you get out on the field and and it's really about what your guys are comfortable with and what they understand and just putting their skill sets to best use. So like I said, we've tried a couple things. We've tried a couple of additions to the system this last couple of weeks that. Haven't worked as well as what we thought they would, according to the board. So, we'll scratch those instead of just beating our head into the wall. We'll scratch those and spend more time getting better at the things we've shown we can do. And then, like I said, we'll add a couple things also as you try to do every week. You always try to add something that the opponent hasn't seen. So we'll be working on that also.
Well, Coach, that's what makes you a great football mind is because you understand the difference between concept and reality. Let's talk about running to the football on defense. How do you like what you're doing on defensively right now?
Well, again, I loved it before last night. Before Thursday night. I'm going to try not to read too much into Thursday, but I really thought, we had made great strides from week 2 to week 3 on the defensive side of the ball. And, so hopefully we will get back, to where we were on that Wilson Central game also, because I thought we really, really played well on that side of the ball. We were physical. We were running. We didn't give up any big plays that night. We were a good tackling team. And, hopefully we will get better to that, get back to that this week.
Talk a little bit about the work mentality that you want to see from your team as you get ready for district play, because we know we got Smyrna coming into town this week.
Yeah, we got Smyrna, we got region. I don't want to call it the preseason, but all these non-region games are pretty much over for us now. Now it's region, and we know that dictates your postseason, and if you get a chance to play an 11th game, and that's what we want to do. So it starts this week, and we've always tried to stress this year with our guys, a blue collar mentality. We're not flashy. We don't have a bunch of 3, 4, 5-star guys to go out and just do all these highlight reel type plays. We need to be, the type that has a chip on its shoulder and just says we're going to go outwork the people we're playing, and we're going to make it a rough, tumble, physical football game, and then find a way to close that out at the end. So that's what we'll, keep preaching to our guys and, try to get back to where we were. Like I told them Friday night when I talked with the seniors, get back to where we were a couple of weeks ago, where you could really see and feel that we were, very, very close to, to getting the W's that we wanted coming into the season.
When you talk about your seniors and your leadership, that's an important part of any football team. How about your leadership that you got? And like I said, especially when you come into a game like against Smyrna, who's arguably your biggest rival.
The leadership part is huge. And, what I love about this senior group is, truly the selflessness, walking into the locker room. I mean, there's not the cliques. You don't see the seniors just sitting by themselves and treating sophomores like they're sophomores. I mean, you see a lot of interaction between the different, between the different classes, which I think is great. They set good examples in terms of, what you see from them in the weight room or on the practice field. And, I couldn't be happy enough with what I'm getting from those guys there. Now, I just want them to experience success and be able to get some wins.
Well, Coach, I know everybody in North Rutherford County is looking forward to Friday night. It's always a big night when Smyrna and Laverne get together. So hopefully we're going to have a great crowd down there because I think it's going to be special.
I think so too. I mean, it's the schools are separated by 4 or 5 miles. Everybody. I mean, I guess nowadays everybody knows everybody anyway. But these guys truly, grow up together. We know about the one-sidedness, but we also know that we've had opportunities in the last couple of years and have come out. Well, I shouldn't say that, but recently we've had opportunities and haven't been able to close out games. So, we're going to go, try to change that on Friday.
I encourage everyone in North Rutherford County, if you want to go see some great high school football action, get on down there to the Wolverine Den. Coach Mike Woodward, we appreciate your time, and we certainly wish you the best of luck.
All right. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate it.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza with 4 Murfreesboro locations: Memorial Boulevard, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford Boulevard, and Old Fort Parkway. Get hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars. It's football time in Tennessee. Of course, that means tailgating and travel. Don't fumble due to a poorly maintained vehicle. At Dr. Automotive, we're here to help you score, whether it be a length of the field drive or a quick pick six. We'll help you tackle brake repair, heating issues, battery needs, and maintenance as you march downfield.